What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You, and I hope y'all are doing well. And welcome to another episode of Black Fathers Now. Now, dig this. If you're watching the video of this bad boy, another live from the garage episode, because I'm sitting out here in the garage. But as I was sitting out in the garage, man, a thought came to me that I really wanted to drop on you brothers to just kind of process and think about. And it's the concept of extremes and balance. Extremes and balance. There's a time and a place in life for balance. Real talk. There's a time and a place in life for balance. But there's also a time and a place in life for extremes. Think about that. Extremes and balance. When you think about balance, it's really hard to achieve balance if you're living in the extremes. It's hard to achieve balance when you're living in the extremes. On the flip side, it's hard to really get to an extreme if you're firmly placed in the middle, or you're firmly balanced in how you approach things. Again, balance and extremes are both important, and they're both needed at times. But it's hard to achieve either if you're firmly planted in the other one. So what do I mean by that? When you think about balance, most people, throw balance into the mix of how they want to live their life, right? They want a balanced life. They want to eat balanced meals. They want their emotions to be balanced. They want how they handle things to be balanced, right? You want to have this level of normalcy, right? You don't really waver too far in any direction on anything, right? That's how a lot of people really want to approach life. They want to be balanced. But then when you think about extremes, people automatically think of extremes in a negative context. You think about extremes like someone who's living live fast lifestyle, or doing things in a way that are just fully on the edge or on the fringes. They look at it from a negative context, but I want you to also think about extremes are folks who are operating as the best of the best. Because when you really stop and you think about it, those individuals who are considered to be the best of the best are extremes. And they don't get there by living balanced lives. There's a sacrifice. I mean, you think about your favorite athlete who's considered to be the best of the best of the best. If you look at their story and you see their work ethic and you see what they had to sacrifice, that was an extreme life. We like to read stories about, brothers who have achieved financial success. And if you're really honest about it, if you look at the story, you look at the backstory of their life, they've had to live some level of extreme. They've had to have extreme sacrifice or take extreme measures to achieve that level of success financially or business or whatnot. And honestly, if you think about anybody who operates as the best of the best in any category in their world, they are extreme. And if they were not extreme, they would not get to that level of being the best. So again, balance and extremes are both needed, but it's hard to achieve balance if you live in the extremes. It's also hard to get to the extremes if you live a life of balance. And so I think we have to be mindful not to judge folks who live in either one of those categories. But then on the flip side, I think we have to be mindful and aware enough to be able to vacillate between the two categories when needed and or necessary. Because sometimes we need to turn it up. Sometimes we need to put our head down and get things done in a way that seems extreme. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what needs to happen at times. But then we also have to have moments in which we need to let go and relax. We need to kind of chill. We need to literally look at it from an even, balanced approach, because we can't live life perpetually in extremes. That's one thing I believe that we can take away from, is the fact that extremes and balance are both needed, but you should not live in extremes perpetually, because that does lead to issues. Because when you have extreme highs, you have extreme lows, right? So that's where the whole concept of balance does come into play. You want to have some semblance of balance in your life, but Don't run from extremes, because extremes are necessary. There's no way to shortcut, or there's no way to quote unquote fall into being the best. It's going to require some type of extreme effort, some type of extreme sacrifice. But the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? What level of effort are you willing to give? And if you're willing, you know what, make it happen at times. But remember, balance and extremes are necessary if you want to walk in your purpose and be the best of the best. And I'm coming to realize that with myself, in a sense that, there are some things that I have gifting, right? Like, I'm gifted in some aspects of my life, but then there are other aspects of my life in which I really have to work hard at it, right? And I mean, that's just what's up. So there's some aspects of my life you would see and you'd think that, yo, this thing is pretty balanced. You handle this pretty well. That's cool. Check me on the next issue because I'm gonna be an extreme there. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's healthy, that's needed, and we're wired the way that we're wired so that we can do that, because some situations are going to require balance, others are going to require extremes, extreme effort, extreme sacrifice, etc. So don't be scared of either one, don't judge either one. Just realize that both are going to probably have to come into play at some point in your life if you're going to walk in that level of purpose that you're designed to walk in. So I hope this makes sense, fellas. But again, think about the concept of extremes and the concept of balance, and realize both are needed, both are necessary, but it's hard to achieve one if you're constantly living in the other. All right? Marinate on that. All right, fellas. Well, hey, as always, make sure to subscribe to Black Fathers Now via all the, you know, podcast listening app options that are out there: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure to subscribe to this. Make sure to share this joint out. And go back and listen to numerous episodes that we've had, man. Like, this is episode 174. But, dude, that means we got 173 other episodes that are out there where I've had dynamic guests. And it's a whole lot of dope guests coming up, too. I've already recorded some of them, and whew, Lord have mercy. Anyway, make sure you subscribe, leave ratings, leave comments, share this thing out, because we want every brother in America to have heard about Black Fathers Now and have listened to at least one episode. Let's start there, all right? Well, yo, check this out, man. Until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I get at you. Peace.